losing over. You a queen when I less than I'm a gozy. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Owamie, Owamie. Girl, you're such a powerful woman.
Hi guys, how are you doing? It's your girl Owamie, and welcome back to my channel. If it's the first time joining us, you're most definitely welcome. Please do make sure that I subscribe and obviously hit the bell. I absolutely love you. Now my ninjas, this one is gonna, I feel like it might be an emotional video and it might be all over the place. I just want to vent. And I feel like it will also help someone out there that you guys be extra cautious. Cause like I won't even lie, today has been extremely tough. Not only today, but wow, like yeah, your girl has been going through some stuff. But I feel today it's like, yeah, maybe I'm starting to process whatever, because you guys can see I'm very scarce. Mentally I've just not been doing well, but I want to also just share with you guys like what I have been going through. So I'm gonna do my best to honestly just put myself together so that I can talk about this without really crying. So y'all should just ignore that. Oh, I'm also on my period, so I feel like that's why I'm extra emotional today. But anyway, just to have a story that is gonna be something that someone that has never met me would also understand. I used to be married, so I'm a divorcee. I used to be married to this guy that stays in Free State, Friede, right? So 2017 we relocated. We moved, basically we moved to Free State. And the reason for that was because he had lost his job. We didn't have any source of income, and so we had to go there, right? So when we got there, my ex-mother-in-law used to talk about this doctor, and she used to speak so highly of him, like so highly of this doctor. And the way that she would talk so highly of him is like, even if there was anything, like she literally just believed in that guy so much that she just would be like, if it's a doctor, let's just say, Dr. B, he will sort it out, oh, this and that and that. And so me being someone that didn't know, obviously, that area, Fred is a very small space, and this doctor is actually in Standerton. So Standerton is like about 50 to 55 kilometers away from Friede, and so that was that, right? So it did come a point where my ex-husband did get a job, and he was a teacher, and he was working for the government, and so we could now at least afford a medical aid, because as you guys know, GEMS is subsidized by the government. So now we could afford to move from like public care to private care. And so moving to private care, who is the doctor that obviously you would actually want to go to? The doctor that obviously your mother-in-law talks so highly of. And I want to just put it out there that I'm not blaming her whatsoever. I understand that we have got different experiences with people, and I'm sure her experiences were great, because she would say nothing but sing praises over him, So basically what had happened was I used to be in a very toxic marriage, and I see that now, then I couldn't see it. And I say toxic because for me, it was a very codependent marriage. Like it was a very codependent marriage. I just couldn't do no more activities without my ex. Like I was really honestly like joined by the hip. And I think you guys know this, So the way that it would be is that my ex used to fill every single form for me. My ex-husband knew my ID number, and I didn't even know my ID number. I don't even want to like by head, I didn't know my ID number. But he would, because anytime he had to fill a form, or there was anything, he would always just take the form, no matter what it is. He would only call me to say, come sign, and I would just sign whatever. But he would have filled in all the details, right? Sorry, I don't know if that's my nephew or not. But anyway, so the first time that we moved to this guy, there was a reason, like I was sick, right? And they had to take like blood work, like they had to do some blood tests. So my ex was filling in the form and he was ticking the boxes of, like, they give you a questionnaire, the sicknesses that you have, and he was ticking whatever, that applies to me. And then he ticked thyroid. So when I saw that he ticked thyroid, I think I saw it when he was submitting, but I think he also crashed it out. I cannot fully remember if he did an X on it, but I did say that, no, he made a mistake. I don't have thyroid, right? And then they said, oh, no, don't worry. We're going to go do blood tests, right? Okay, that is fine. So I remember the next time I went, I was now being given medication. My blood work has come back. And I asked, like, oh, the thyroid, he made a mistake. I don't have thyroid. He made a mistake and he ticked the thyroid. And the doctor said, no, you actually do have thyroid, and I'm going to be putting you on medication. And I was like, no, but I don't have thyroid. Like, I've never been diagnosed with thyroid. He said, no, the blood results came back and they're showing that you've got thyroid. Now, if I'm not too mistaken, this was 2019, early, somewhere there. I can't remember exactly when, but I think it was 2019. So I honestly was like, it was a bit of a knock for me, but I was just also very resistant to believing the diagnosis. So as I was saying, I was very much like resistant, or like I was really rejecting the diagnosis, because I do have someone that I know that struggles with a thyroid problem, and I didn't have any of the symptoms that she struggles with. So I really didn't like fully understand or believe. But then if the doctor is telling you that the tests were done and they came back saying that you have thyroid, then who am I to say no to what my own blood work is saying? Do you understand? So okay, I started taking the medication. As I'm saying, I think it was in 2018 that I started taking the medication, and that is like a daily medication that you have to take. So it's a monthly expense that you have to buy. But as I'm saying, we were on medical aid, so that was not a problem, obviously. And I just started taking the thyroid medication from, I think, if I'm not too mistaken, as I'm saying, 2018. Now 2019, 2019, 2020, I continued taking the medication. Guys, I think it's 2019 or 2020, but nah, I think it's definitely 2019, somewhere there, 2019, 2020, somewhere there. I started taking the medication, obviously, and I take the medication the whole of 2020. I remember that. I think it was definitely 2019. 2021, I continued with the medication. 2022, 2021 December, remember, that was when I separated from my ex. And 2020, that's when I separated from my ex, December. And then 2021, I was now relocating and coming this side. I didn't have any medical aid anymore, so that was like out of pocket. Every month I would just go and buy my prescription. Now mind you, like, he would just prescribe, like, okay, maybe it can be 6 months or whatever, and then you take it to your pharmacy, your close pharmacy, and it would be registered there. So you would just go to the pharmacy and fetch your chronic medication. So I came this side, and obviously I continued, but I really honestly had a lot of doubts. I don't know, like, it just, like, it's like it was my gut feeling. Like, Owamie, remember, like, you don't have thyroid, but you're taking medication for thyroid. But I'm like, but if the doctor said that's what the blood work said, then what do you do? So I had a lot of fighting within myself, and I'm like, I think the responsible thing is just to take your medication, because I would just say to myself, like, you are being delusional. Like, why would you, the blood work came back and that's what it said. So last year, you guys remember that I did fall sick, and I was very anemic. There was a lot going on, and I went to the doctor, and I went to a public hospital the time that I was on what do they call this, affinity health, that nonsense, that refused to pay. And so I had to go to a public hospital. So I did go to the public hospital, and when I got there, I did meet a junior doctor. So as they were busy working on trying to figure out why was I so anemic, why was my blood so low, and they were now finding that obviously there was a problem with my iron levels, this and that. I remember just talking to that doctor and explaining what happened. I was like, there's something that once happened. My ex accidentally ticked on a box to say I had thyroid, and when I spoke to them that I don't have thyroid, that was a mistake. They said no, the blood work is gonna show us. When the blood work came back, they told me that I have thyroid. So I really don't fully believe, but I don't know. I was just expressing to her that I've got a gut feeling that I don't think I have got a thyroid problem, So the junior doctor basically said, and I'm saying junior doctor because I want you guys to like understand that it took someone, and I think maybe I should also mention the junior doctor was a black female, and the doctor that I went to in Standerton is a Afrikaner male. I don't know if he's white or African, but to me he sounds and looks very African, right? Sharp. So she then tells me to say that, okay, stop the thyroid medication, and then you have to come back so that we can take your blood work. So obviously if it's high or something, they will definitely see the irregularity or whatever it is that they have to see there. If I'm not on medication, then it has to act up, because the only reason why they could not like test and see if I had it or not is because the levels looked normal, but they wouldn't know, like, because you're on medication. So if your medication is working the way your medication is supposed to work, it's supposed to be normal. You understand? So I was like, okay, that is fine. I think now that I had like a medical professional actually give that advice to say stop so that we can see, I did stop. And she did tell me that you have to come back, but I don't even want to lie, I didn't really go back. This was last year, March, if I'm not too mistaken, but March, April, somewhere there, So I stopped the thyroid medication. And then time went. This year, you guys know that I am going to a weight loss clinic with Dr. Mato, who is in Blue Hills, right? So we have been going through our own hiccups, like me, in the weight loss journey and stuff, and we needed to get like a lot of blood work done. So I was like, okay, since my blood is gonna be going to the lab. I remember I even showed you guys I was bruised, so bruised, but I'm okay now. I was like, please also check my thyroid, right? Because I've not been on thyroid medication for like over 1 year, 6 months, if I'm not mistaken right now. So obviously they take the blood and the blood work comes back. I was very nervous. I really honestly was very nervous. And there was like a part of me that was very scared that, oh my gosh, I never went back to the doctor to check the thyroid levels. What if maybe the reason why the weight loss medication is not working as fast is because of like I do have a thyroid problem? And I stopped taking medication and I didn't go back. So I was really just beating myself up. I was really, really just beating myself up. Only to find that the results came back and my thyroid is fine. I never had thyroid problem. I was misdiagnosed, and I've been on medication for years. For something that I did not have, and something that I mentioned. Like, I was like, I don't have this. And this doctor insisted and even said, no, blood work said that you have thyroid. So I think I'm just so emotional because I feel so victimized. I feel so victimized, guys. This really brings back old wounds, like, I won't lie, because this is the same doctor that I went in there the time that I was having so much pains, and he checked me and he said, "You have a deformed womb." He told me I've got space next week Wednesday and I can remove it. This man is not a gynecologist. This man is a surgeon. He never said, "Hey, this is what I'm saying, but maybe go see an actual gynecologist." His first option was for me to be booking a procedure to get my womb removed the following week. Literally, it was less than a week, because if I remember well, I think I had gone to see him on a Friday and I was devastated. I remember when he told me that, I started like, I started like having almost a panic attack. And I was like, oh my God, I want my husband. Like, that's what I was saying. And he was like, "Oh, come on, like, you've got bigger things to worry about." That's what he said, literally telling me at the age of 28 or 29 that I have a deformed womb and he just wants to remove my womb. Only to find out that I actually had fibroids. And the first gynecologist saw that. It's just unfortunate that, my ex and I, we do not talk. So he cannot attest to this, and besides, he's a liar, that guy. So I don't even think that he would even be interested in like telling the truth when it comes to this. But we were both there. Like, he was not in the room, he was obviously outside, but he saw like how big of a mess I was when I came out, and how nervous we both were when we went to the first gynecologist and even had to go to the second gynecologist. This is the same doctor, guys, that almost removed my womb. If I did not know the different doctors, I wouldn't have my womb right now, and nothing was wrong. I just feel so victimized. I feel so victimized. I feel so victimized. Like, this guy had me on medication for over 5 years that I did not need. How much do you think that is? How hard do you think that has to have been on my body? Like, guys. Yeah. As I'm saying, maybe it's PMS as well, but I'm just so emotional. I'm just not okay. I'm just not okay. Like, how can one be so evil? There's a huge problem of racism in the Free State. Like, people don't even talk about it because it's a norm for them. For you to actually see like how bad racism is that side, you literally have to like be from outside and go in, and you would see like they still have pubs that are for white people. Like, I don't know if there's anything that is spoken or whatever, but I remember there was a day that my ex and I were actually driving home, and there's literally like a pub right in town, like, because we used to stay in town, and then there's like a I don't know to call it, like a I don't know, man, something like a news cafe, but it's not. If I'm not mistaken, it's really not. But yeah, I don't know how to explain. But that's where like black people go. This pub, it's like all white people. And I remember I was like, "Stop!" Like, I just wanted to get some alcohol. I'm like, "Stop! I want to just go in and get like alcohol." And was like, "No, let's go down there." And I'm like, "Why?" Because it's right here. We can just come here, buy and leave. Like, I wasn't even interested in like drinking there. And I was like, "No, black people don't go in there, blah blah blah," something like that. And I was like, no, this is a free country. I remember I did enter, guys, I did buy, but the way those people were looking, it was like the look of shock. I won't even lie to you guys, like shocked. I think they were just shocked with what is a black person doing in here, because I feel like there are some unspoken rules where they just know, you know, these are places where they still have farms, you know, the white man is still, do you understand? So I don't know, I just can't help but feel like I was treated so horribly by this Afrikaner or white doctor, because he's Afrikaner if I'm not too mistaken, guys. He looks Afrikaner to me. Is it because I'm black? Like, I can't stop just asking myself so many questions. Like, you cannot tell me, you cannot tell me, you cannot tell me that one person can make so many mistakes with one person. Like, what is your job as a doctor? Like, medical malpractice, guys. A lot of people lose their lives because of things like this, and as I feel so abused. I feel so abused. Like, literally, this one cuts so deep. I hate taking pills. I hate taking pills. And I would force myself. I would force myself to take those pills. And I didn't have to for years. I didn't have to. Like, if I had thyroid, guys, in over 1 year, 6 months, somewhere there, it would have definitely been out of control. Everything is normal. Everything is like, I'm just so hurt. I'm really just so hurt. Um, I'm really just so hurt. I really am. I know there's gonna be a lot of you guys that are like, oh, take him to court, you know, sue him for this. I really want to, but there's like a huge part of me that is tired. Like, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired. Guys, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. Like, I really feel exhausted, you know. Maybe it's also just because, like, all these emotions are just coming back to me, you know, especially like the time that he was telling me like that you've got a deformed womb. Like, I was so devastated. I was so devastated with everything that was going on around me. And I don't know, I just feel like this result coming back and like confirming, it really just, it did set me to just a place of pain. Just a place of pain. So I think, you know, we always say this, like, listen to your gut feeling. Do listen to your gut feeling, I'm telling you, you know. And if you go to a doctor, no matter what it is, get a second and get a third opinion, you know. Things are easier now in terms of you can also like just go to a lab and ask them to check you, whatever, you understand, and they will be able to check you so you can have your own results. And I just asked myself, like, okay, if he claims that my results came back and they were saying that I had thyroid, did he even check the other stuff? What if like my blood were never even taken to a lab? Because which lab is gonna say I've got a thyroid problem? From what I understand, it's not like it miraculously heals. Yeah. Yo, guys, I am just so hurt. I'm really just so hurt. And I just wanted to vent. And yeah. Yeah. It really has been tough. I know maybe to someone it might be something small. But for me, it's like, it reminds me of a lot of trauma that I went through, you know, in that place. Like, you know, in Free State, Friede, and also in Standerton. Like, I went through a lot. Like, I went through a lot, guys. Like, a lot in that place. So I know I'm gonna be okay, you know. I mean, I'm gonna deal. But it might take a bit of a while for this. you know. And I'm glad, obviously, that I do not have thyroid. I think now I'm gonna have to go for like just, to just consult a doctor and find out what are the side effects of taking, because I think I was on thyroids, which is a medication for thyroid, if I remember the word, the name right. But I need to just go and see a doctor and find like what are the side effects of taking thyroids for years when you didn't need to, and then we need to check those side effects if they're there, and just how to aid, like, and it sucks. I won't even lie, like it sucks. Oh, guys, I'm just really tired. Please, 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 like, get a second and get a third opinion. And I don't know, like, my experience with what I've gone through with this doctor, I just don't feel comfortable going to white doctors anymore. And I know people will be like, oh, you can't like just be with everyone. I really can't. Like, I'm just at a point where honestly, it hurts, man. It really does. Even the time like of my fibroids journey, I think I've spoken about this. He's like Afrikaner, as I said, I think. And then the first gynecologist I went to was like an Indian doctor. He was good, but I just felt like he didn't really understand or get, I don't know if I should say understand or get, but I didn't feel seen or really hurt. I just felt like I was just a patient, not to even say just a patient, but I don't know how to explain it. But when I met Dr. Mukaya, who is my gynecologist, I felt seen, I felt understood, I felt heard. He looked at me or treated me as not just a patient but also a human, and so for me, ever since then, I won't lie, I just prefer my own people, because wow, like wow. And I know it's not all doctors, but I really honestly have been traumatized, as if me almost losing my womb at such a young age, like wrongfully so, by him trying to yank my womb out, as if that was not enough, like this on top. Yeah, I just feel, I feel hurt. I was like I feel really, really hurt. And I had to just vent and bother, because wow. But you know yeah, it has been a lot. It has really honestly been a lot. um so yeah, that's why there were no videos to Dr. Hoti. I've been really also scarce here. It's not only like what can I say, like, okay, the past, I think, week, I've just been dealing with some stuff, but when the results came back, I think that's when I crashed. That's when I literally could feel that I'm crashing. Today I had like to cancel all my shoots. I cancelled all tomorrow's shoots. Um, that's because I'm in physical pain as I'm having cramps, but it's also because I'm just not mentally ready to sit and listen to someone when I'm also going through my own like this bad. As I'm saying, maybe PMS has also something to do with it, and that's why I'm just extra emotional right now. And maybe this week that's why, because it was leading to, I don't know, but yeah, go, I guess. But yeah, man, let's normalize getting second and third opinions before we start taking medications. And when you go to a new doctor, never say anything, or oh, they saw this there. Just have them take the tests and everything, and unless if they don't test that specific thing, then I think that's when you can say, oh, can you also test this, or you can go to the lab by yourself and they can be able to do that. Because guys, I really am like wow. wow. You know, I know, like, in a case like this, he is the first one to prescribe me the thyroid medication. All proof is there. I mean, sorry, all proof is there, because I was going to, like, you know, a pharmacy where I would just go and take my medication like monthly with the 6 month script, and every 6 months I'd go to that doctor. So all proof is there 100%. So I do feel like I do feel I have a case. You know, I mean, I've financially lost having to buy medication I didn't need. The mental aspect of it, I did Google some side effects, and they were like insomnia, anxiety, and guess who suffers with it? And I mean, you guys know I've spoken about insomnia so many times, anxiety, stuff like that. I think some of the stuff, like, people don't really get, because we're not gonna be as open. But I am someone that, yeah, you know, I will not devour my secrets. Now you people use them against me. But there was certain stuff that when I saw, or side effects, that I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Do you understand? But yeah, I just, right now, I think I just need to have my head cool down, do all the extra tests, see what's happening, and then maybe I can choose to tackle it next year if I choose to. But I think the part that really scares me about that guy is that he does have black patients. Exactly what is he doing to them? You know? Like, what is he doing to them? He knew he's a surgeon, he knew he's not a gynecologist, but he already wanted to remove my womb, and only to find out that this is my womb. This was a fibroid right on top, in front of my womb. Like, you could only see a lining of my womb. The fibroid was that big. It was like as big, or rather bigger than my womb, from what I hear. And of course it's gonna look deformed, because it's not a womb, it's a shapeless, not really shapeless, but it's not a womb like shape, because it's a fibroid. But he would see that if he was a gynecologist, because he'd be a specialist in the field. But even though he knew that he was not, and he knew that he was the first doctor to discover this, he did not even say, you know, ma'am, I'm not a gynecologist, go see a gynecologist. He was like, no, we can schedule you. I have space next week, Wednesday. You can come and I can just remove your womb. Like that, you know. And as much as I continued with the script, obviously, because I believed, you understand, that I was having thyroid, I don't remember actually going back to that guy for, did I go back? I think after the fibroid situation, when I did find out that he misdiagnosed me, I don't remember actually going back to him. I really don't. No, I actually didn't. Because remember, I got misdiagnosed, I think it was Feb. And then I went to the first gynecologist March. And when I was about to go for the operation, they closed the country that time because it was COVID in 2020. And so I've never gone back to that guy ever since. You know, I did find out that he had misdiagnosed me. But I just want you guys to really be careful out there, because there's a lot of doctors, not just doctors, like medical practitioners, that they have their own stuff, you know. Just because someone is a doctor, they can't be a racist. They can. Just because someone is a doctor, they cannot be a tribalist. They can, you know. So it really is something that I thought I should also just put out there. So I'm sorry for trauma dumping on you guys, but I also just had to take it out. I really had to, you know. And I feel better now after just talking about it, because I feel like I have just been walking with a heavy heart. Because I'm just like, it's unfair. It's so unfair. It really is just so unfair, you know. It really is just so unfair. Sometimes, like, it just gets too much. Sometimes it just get too much. And yeah, I'm struggling a bit right now mentally. But anyway, I am booking, I'm gonna be booking a session with my therapist, like just to touch base, and I think I'm gonna be okay, like right now, at least I have to. I have work, you understand, like I have to work. So, and anyway, God knows what he's doing, because this came and raised here, so I just hug him. And but like I feel like my baby can also see that, like, I'm not myself, which I hate. But we will see. We really will. But yeah, my biggest message to you: please get a second and a third opinion before you take any medication, and before you do a lot of stuff, because wow, you know but anyway, from Women Naturals, all right, love you guys, stay blessed, and I will see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.